Chosen one, this message did not find you by accident. God led you here, guided you here, aligned you with this word for a divine purpose. What you're about to hear is not ordinary. It's not entertainment. It's a spiritual awakening, a sacred confirmation, a reminder of who you truly are beneath the pain, the confusion, the setbacks, and the battles you fought. For generations, a prophecy has been whispered. For centuries, a lineage has been hidden. For 1,000 years, a royal bloodline has waited for the one who would awaken, rise, and reclaim the spiritual authority that was buried, silenced, and forgotten. That chosen one is you. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just content. It's a divine confirmation for the chosen ones who are awakening to their true identity and ancient purpose. And a heartfelt thank you to everyone supporting through Super Thanks. God bless you richly. Your faithfulness, your presence, and your spiritual alignment do not go unnoticed. To every chosen one who keeps returning, listening, and elevating, you are part of this rising royal lineage, and I'm truly grateful for you. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred signal to the Most High that you are ready. Ready to step into your inheritance. Ready to awaken the ancient power within you. Ready to rise into the divine identity that has been prophesied for 1,000 years. Understand this, not everyone will stay until the end of this message. Only those whose bloodline has been marked by prophecy, those who feel the spiritual pull of destiny, will receive the clarity, revelation, and activation that this word carries. This isn't something you hear once and forget. This is a living word, an ancient echo rising inside you, a prophetic blueprint unfolding piece by piece. Watch it again whenever your spirit leads you, because each time you listen, another hidden layer of divine identity will awaken, and another piece of your royal purpose will rise to the surface. Let's begin. Long before you took your first breath, long before your parents dreamed of you, long before your bloodline settled into the form you know today, there were ancient voices, seers, visionaries, prophets, and spiritual scribes who received a divine message about a chosen heir who would rise in a distant generation. This message wasn't written lightly. It wasn't symbolic. It wasn't poetic. It was a direct spiritual revelation preserved across time, protected by heaven, and whispered through centuries. The prophecy spoke of a hidden royal, a divine heir whose identity would be concealed for generations. Not born into privilege, but born into struggle. Not raised in royalty, but shaped through trials. A chosen one whose destiny would remain protected until the appointed time. This heir would be different from birth, different in spirit, different in energy, different in calling. The ancient writings described someone who never quite fit in, no matter how hard they tried. Carried an inner heaviness and unexplained wisdom even as a child. Felt disconnected from the world around them. Endured attacks early in life. Survived situations others would crumble under. Sensed a higher purpose long before understanding it. Walked through life feeling watched, guided, and protected without knowing why. They wrote of someone who would be pushed, tested, and refined by life. Not because they were weak, but because they were chosen. Someone the enemy would target early, because darkness often identifies divine identity before the person does. The prophecy revealed that this heir would not rise in peaceful times. No, this awakening would occur when the world was thick with confusion, chaos, spiritual blindness, and deception. It would be a generation where truth would be rare, wisdom would be ignored, and people would walk more by fear than faith. It predicted that the heir would carry ancient spiritual DNA, qualities passed through generations, hidden beneath layers of pain, trauma, and survival. Supernatural intuition. Unbreakable resilience. Prophetic perception. A warrior's endurance. A healer's compassion. And a leader's inner fire. These traits would not be learned. They would be remembered. Remembered as the heir awakened. Remembered as the soul reconnected to its ancient purpose. Remembered as the spirit realigned with destiny. And chosen one, that moment has already begun for you. The moment you started seeing differently. The moment you felt the shift in your spirit. This chapter of your life isn't random. It is the fulfillment of what was spoken 1,000 years ago. Chosen one, you may look at your family and see nothing unusual. You may see brokenness, poverty, dysfunction, silence, struggle, or ordinary people living ordinary lives. But spiritually, beneath the surface, beneath the history, beneath the pain, something far greater has always existed. Nothing about your lineage is random. Nothing about your ancestry is accidental. Nothing about your bloodline is ordinary. God hid your true inheritance in plain sight, protecting it through generations so the enemy would never fully detect where the royal heir would emerge. And that heir is you. Your bloodline carries ancient power. Qualities that did not begin with you, but awakened in you. Ancient resilience rooted in generations who refused to give up. Generational strength forged through battles your ancestors survived without recognition. Divine intuition, the inner knowing that has guided your family long before you were born. Prophetic insight, the ability to see truth others miss. Spiritual intelligence, the wisdom that grows in your spirit, not in books. And a warrior spirit, one that refuses to break even under spiritual warfare. You come from a lineage that endured storms others wouldn't have survived. People in your bloodline carried burdens that would have destroyed weaker families. They fought battles quietly, hoped in secret, cried in silence, and kept going because heaven was preserving something special within your line. Some of your ancestors prayed for deliverance, not realizing that deliverance would arrive through you. Some asked God for a champion, not knowing that the champion would emerge generations later. Some begged heaven for someone to break the cycles, the curses, the spiritual chains, and God marked you as the one who would fulfill those prayers. The world may have forgotten that your bloodline was royal. Life may have covered it under hardship. Time may have buried it beneath survival. But heaven never forgot. And when your awakening began, the dormant attributes of your spiritual heritage started rising powerfully and unmistakably. Your discernment sharpened because your ancestors were seers. Your intuition grew because your lineage carried prophetic sight. Your inner authority strengthened because leadership runs in your spiritual DNA. Your voice gained weight because your words carry ancestral power. Your presence shifted atmospheres because your spirit remembers its ancient identity. This is not new power. It is awakening power. Dormant strength rising, hidden inheritance activating, ancient identity resurfacing. You are the bridge between the past and the future. You are the manifestation of everything your lineage endured to protect. You are the continuation of a spiritual kingdom that never died, just went underground. The hidden bloodline is no longer hidden. The royal inheritance is no longer silent. The ancient identity is no longer sleeping. It is awakening. And it is awakening through you, chosen one. If you look back over your life, you will notice something powerful. Your battles were never normal, Everything you went through felt heavier, deeper, more intense, more personal than what others around you experienced. And for a long time, you may have blamed yourself. You may have wondered why life seemed harder for you, why you were targeted, why you were misunderstood, why you were isolated, why you were attacked spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. But here is the truth: your battles were never about your circumstances. They were about your identity. The enemy knew who you were long before you figured it out. This is why the attacks came early. This is why the pressure was intense. This is why you faced warfare others couldn't see. This is why you felt alone, even in a room full of people. The battles you faced were not random. They were strategic. The betrayals weren't accidental. They were attempts to break your trust. The heartbreaks weren't coincidence. They were designed to shut down your heart. The losses weren't punishment. They were meant to crush your spirit. The moments of isolation weren't mistakes. They were engineered to silence your purpose. The spiritual attacks weren't exaggerated. They were direct hits on your destiny. You were not being attacked because you were weak. You were being attacked because you were dangerous to darkness. Your very existence threatened the kingdom of darkness. Your potential terrified the enemy. Your purpose disrupted generational curses and spiritual strongholds. Your awakening activated ancient power the enemy tried for centuries to bury. Everything you went through was designed to make you question three things. 1. Your worth. Because a royal who forgets their worth will never claim their throne. 2. Your purpose. Because a chosen one who doubts their calling will never walk in their assignment. 3. Your spiritual authority. Because once you activate it, nothing can stop you. The enemy tried to confuse you so you wouldn't discover who you really are. He tried to exhaust you so you wouldn't rise. He tried to wound you so you wouldn't awaken. He tried to break you so the prophecy wouldn't be fulfilled. But chosen one, you survived what was designed to destroy you. You healed from what was meant to poison you. You awakened from what was meant to numb you. You rose from what was meant to bury you. Your awakening is proof of your power. Your clarity is proof of your calling. Your resilience is proof of your royal bloodline. You walked through fire and came out refined. You faced storms and came out stronger. You survived battles that were meant to erase you. Chosen one, you spent years wondering why your greatness seemed invisible to others. Why people overlooked you even when you carried more potential than they could see. Why you were underestimated in places where you should have been celebrated. Why you felt like you weren't being chosen, invited, or acknowledged even when you were doing everything right. But hear this truth with your spirit: you were hidden, not rejected. God placed a covering over your life, not because you were unworthy, but because you were too valuable to be revealed prematurely. Heaven hid you the way ancient rulers hid their royal heirs, protected, concealed, and surrounded by divine secrecy until the appointed moment. Your hidden season was intentional. It was holy. It was strategic. You were hidden because your calling needed time to grow without interference. Divine assignments required depth. God was shaping you away from noise, distractions, and counterfeit paths so nothing could distort your purpose. Your spirit needed time to mature in silence. If you had stepped into your destiny too early, the weight of it would have crushed you. You needed wisdom, emotional stability, spiritual clarity, and inner grounding. You needed to learn who you truly are before others tried to label you. Your gifts needed time to sharpen without jealousy or sabotage. Had people seen your potential too soon, some would have tried to copy it, crush it, or corrupt it. God kept you hidden so your talents could grow without being attacked or manipulated. Your voice needed time to gain power and authority. Your words now carry spiritual weight. But that strength had to be built through experience, through heartbreak, through silence, through revelation. And even though it often felt like you were behind, forgotten, or delayed, the truth is this: you were not behind. You were being preserved. God planted you deep so no storm could uproot you. He allowed you to grow quietly, inwardly, and spiritually until your foundation became unshakable. You were not forgotten. You were being guarded. There were people, environments, and opportunities that looked good but were not good for you. Heaven blocked access because exposing you too early would have attracted unnecessary warfare, jealousy, and spiritual attacks. You were not delayed. You were being prepared. Every tear was training. Every disappointment was refinement. Every season of isolation was spiritual conditioning. Every no was divine redirection. Just like ancient kingdoms hid their true heirs from enemies, assassins, and threats, heaven hid you because the magnitude of your destiny required protection. God kept you unseen until your identity became strong enough to stand in the spotlight without crumbling. And chosen one, now that time has come. You're feeling it. Your spirit knows it. Your atmosphere is shifting because your season of revealing has begun. The covering is lifting. The spiritual camouflage is fading. The hidden identity is stepping into the light. People who once overlooked you will start noticing your presence. People who once underestimated you will feel a shift when you walk in a room. People who didn't see your value will suddenly sense your authority. Chosen one, the shift you've been feeling lately, the inner transformation, the emotional clarity, the intuitive sensitivity, is not something ordinary people experience randomly. What happened to you was not just a spiritual moment or a temporary phase. It was divine activation. Your awakening was the signal heaven had been waiting for. It was the sound that echoed across the spiritual realm: the air has awakened. The chosen one has risen. The moment your inner world began to change, the atmosphere around you responded. Your awakening was not gentle. It was not subtle. It was a spiritual alarm clock that announced your royal identity is no longer dormant. Your awakening showed itself in many ways. When you started seeing through people, detecting their intentions, their spirits, and their energy without needing explanations, that was your ancestral discernment switching back on. When your discernment intensified and you could sense danger, deception, or dishonesty before anything was said, that was ancient spiritual intelligence reactivating in you. When you became more sensitive to energy, feeling drained around some people and uplifted around others, that was your royal spirit remembering its purity and refusing to mix with what is misaligned. When your old world rejected you, when people who once fit no longer felt connected to your journey, that was heaven pulling you out of environments that could no longer hold your rising identity. When your spirit felt out of place even in familiar spaces, that was your soul outgrowing who you used to be. When you suddenly craved isolation, not out of sadness but out of spiritual necessity, that was God separating you, cleansing you, and preparing you for revelation. Every shift you experienced was a message from the divine realm. Every discomfort was a sign. Every moment of clarity was a confirmation. Every emotional change was an announcement. Your awakening was not random. It was a royal activation. It was the moment your higher identity stepped forward. It was the signal that the hidden heir has taken their rightful position. In the spiritual world, the sound of your awakening traveled far. Angels recognized it. Ancestors rejoiced at it. Darkness feared it. Heaven responded to it. Because when a chosen one awakens, the entire spiritual realm shifts. When a royal spirit rises, ancient authority is restored. When the hidden bloodline activates, destiny moves into motion. This awakening is not just personal. It is generational. It is ancestral. It is prophetic. It is divine. Your awakening is the sound of chains breaking, cycles ending, identities restoring, and power returning. It is the announcement that the kingdom within you, the spiritual kingdom you inherited through centuries of resilience and in this very season, heaven is rearranging everything around you to move you into your rightful position. What you are experiencing is spiritual acceleration, a supernatural push, a repositioning orchestrated by God Himself. You will begin to notice the right people entering your life, individuals with purpose, wisdom, divine timing, and spiritual alignment. These are not accidental connections. They are destiny connections. People who recognize your value without you explaining yourself. People who carry keys to the next chapter of your assignment. Opportunities opening effortlessly. Opportunities you didn't chase, beg for, or force. Doors that once seemed impenetrable suddenly unlocking simply because you are in the right season. These openings confirm that your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Divine protection intensifying. Enemies losing access to you. Situations shifting to remove danger. Relationships ending without explanation. And obstacles disappearing before they reach you. Heaven's shield around you is thicker now because of the magnitude of what you're stepping into. Old burdens falling off. Patterns you couldn't break before suddenly dissolving. Emotional weights lifting, confusion leaving, and toxic cycles ending. What once held you back can no longer attach itself to the version of you that is rising. Strange favor surrounding you. Things working out faster than expected. Blessings coming from unexpected places and supernatural ease replacing old resistance. Where others struggle, you will glide. Where others strive, you will flow. A new sense of direction. A deeper understanding of who you are, where you're going, and what God is calling you to do. You will feel guided, pulled, instructed, and aligned like never before. This is not coincidence. This is positioning. This is your destiny shifting into place. This is your purpose pulling you forward. God is moving you into roles, places, and environments where your royal identity will be needed. Your presence carries weight now. Your spirit carries authority. Your words carry impact. People will be drawn to your wisdom without knowing why. They'll be magnetized by your energy, comforted by your strength, and awakened by your spirit. Doors that remained locked for years will open simply because you walked toward them. Your spiritual authority, awakened and recognized in the unseen realm, will unlock places man could not. Heaven is not waiting anymore. It is establishing your authority. Your unseen throne, your spiritual seat of influence, leadership, and divine assignment is being restored piece by piece. Your purpose is becoming clearer. Your calling is becoming louder. Your steps are becoming ordered. What once seemed impossible is now inevitable. What once seemed distant is now unfolding before your eyes, chosen one. This is the fulfillment of the ancient prophecy. The 1,000-year word spoken over your lineage is not something in the far future. It is happening right now, through your awakening, through your steps, through your existence. Everything is aligning. Everything is shifting. Everything is falling into divine order. Chosen one, I need you to receive this truth with confidence, with boldness, and with spiritual authority. You are not ordinary. Nothing about your existence, your journey, your spirit, or your purpose is average. You are not a mistake. You are not random. You are not just another soul moving through life. You are a prophetic fulfillment. You are a spiritual continuation. You are a divine appointment. You are a long-awaited rising. You are the embodiment of a prophecy whispered centuries ago. You are the awakening of a lineage that was hidden for generations. You are the return of a spiritual kingdom that darkness could not erase. You are the heir that history tried to bury. You are the one your ancestors saw in visions. You are the one they cried out for in prayer. You are the one they protected through their sacrifices. You are the one the enemy feared. Because if you ever awakened, if you ever healed, if you ever remembered who you are, if you ever stepped into alignment, nothing in the spiritual realm could stop what would rise through you. And now you have awakened, and everything is shifting because of it. Your spirit is stronger than ever because your presence will carry weight. Your words will carry power. Your energy will carry authority. You will shift rooms, atmospheres, and people simply by being who God called you to be. You are not stepping into the spotlight. You are stepping into your birthright. You are not chasing a crown. You are reclaiming one. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you've always been.